While you may already be familiar with Canada's diverse and beautiful landscapes, amazing beaches, beautiful coastline, frozen lakes and rivers, and lands buried in snow at subarctic temperatures during winter, do you know about hunger in Canada? According to Food Banks Canada, 13% of Canadians live in a state of food insecurity, mainly caused by low income, consistently affecting more than 4 million people at any given time. Did you also know that in Canada, cell phone bills are some of the highest in the world? Canada has become a materialistic society, and showing off material objects is of great importance for many. And let's not forget about those insane housing prices. Sheesh! It might still be the land of plenty, but not necessarily the land of happiness. It often seems that people are rushing and looking for money, but they are not truly living. These are just a few of the things that have deterred individuals from coming to the Great White North. Today, we'll explore reasons why many people don't want to move to Canada anymore. Let's start with the healthcare system. Contrary to popular belief, Canada's healthcare system is not entirely free. The reality is the system has its flaws and limitations. So, what exactly does free health insurance mean in Canada? In certain provinces, individuals are required to pay health insurance premiums unless they fall under a minimum income threshold. It's crucial to note that the Canada Health Act doesn't encompass various essential aspects, such as prescription drugs, home care, long-term care, prescription glasses, or dental care. Unless covered by extended health insurance, the cost for prescription drugs often comes directly out of your pocket. Many can only afford extended insurance if it's provided by their employer. Moreover, patience becomes a virtue when dealing with the Canadian health system. It's not uncommon to find yourself on a lengthy waiting list, sometimes up to a year, before undergoing necessary surgeries. Consequently, those with the financial means often opt to travel to the United States for more immediate medical procedures. The state of health and mental health services further shows why many people don't want to move to Canada. The fear of falling ill is heightened by the prospect of enduring year-long waits for essential surgeries. The broken nature of the health system is glaringly evident. Interestingly, when Canadians claim to have free healthcare, it's often seniors who've enjoyed stable employment for over 40 years, own multiple houses, and can continue working due to the absence of mandatory retirement. The widely praised free healthcare system, in reality, has limited coverage, and the question arises, can it truly be labeled as free when the tax burden is significantly high? The difficulty in getting a job. While Canada embraces immigrants, challenges persist in ensuring their seamless integration into the workforce. For starters, proficiency in English is crucial, and in some cities, a command of French is also necessary. Without fluency in these languages, finding employment in the country becomes a considerable hurdle. Also, possessing Western certifications is paramount. Even if trained as a professional like a doctor, having certifications from Commonwealth countries or the US is often a prerequisite. This may entail a complete retraining process or passing costly licensing exams. Furthermore, the preference for Canadian work experience poses another obstacle. Companies hiring for jobs in Canada typically favor candidates with local work history, making it challenging for those with international experience to provide verifiable references. Getting a foot in the door with many Canadian companies is no easy feat. The scarcity of upper-level jobs, partly attributed to limited market competition controlled by the government, results in intense competition for executive positions. Where to live? Securing accommodation poses a significant challenge for newcomers to Canada. With soaring housing prices and intense market competition in recent years, buying property has become increasingly difficult, leading to a surge in rental prices. However, the struggle to find affordable housing is not the sole obstacle faced upon arrival. In Canada, presenting a credit history is a prerequisite for leasing a property. Unfortunately, foreign credit reports are not recognized, making it challenging to demonstrate good credit before establishing a Canadian credit history. Another crucial rental requirement is proof of stable employment. Landlords seek assurance that you can consistently meet rent obligations throughout the lease. This poses a challenge for newcomers who have yet to secure employment upon arrival. A workaround involves paying several months' rent up front to alleviate concerns. This shows the importance of saving as much as possible for the move to Canada. Cost of living. The global rise in the cost of living is particularly pronounced in countries like Canada. Historically known for their higher living expenses, this trend is exacerbated by certain escalating costs, notably in housing, which has experienced a significant surge in recent years. Unfortunately, salaries have not kept pace with this inflationary surge, resulting in diminished purchasing power in Canada. and an acutely felt impact on the cost of living. While the ramifications of this increase in living costs vary, Canada, as a land of opportunity, hosts numerous well-paying professions that mitigate the impact for some. Individuals in lucrative fields may not feel the pinch as acutely as the grocery store or in the housing market, experiencing a more insulated financial reality. Conversely, for others, the inflationary pressures make comfortable living increasingly challenging. This dynamic becomes a crucial consideration when contemplating a move to Canada. It's worth noting that Canada has comparably high tax rates on a global scale, encompassing various taxes such as income tax, property tax, provincial tax, and goods and services tax. Depending on income levels, individuals may find themselves subject to higher tax rates, with the government levying greater taxes on those with higher incomes. Even owning a mobile phone in Canada comes with a hefty price tag. Phone plans, especially data plans, rank among the most expensive globally. Even a modest amount of data, like a couple of gigabytes, can surpass the cost of unlimited plans in other parts of the world. Anticipate shelling out over $50 per month for a mobile phone plan in Canada, excluding the phone itself. Once you factor in the cost of adding a phone to your plan and include taxes, your monthly expenses could easily exceed $100. While some budget phone providers have entered the Canadian market, their services lack the reliability of major providers and may not cover the entire country. Consequently, these alternatives are best suited for urban dwellers, as remote areas may experience service gaps. Immigration difficulties. Immigration to Canada is not easy and also not universally straightforward. Eligibility for permanent immigration to Canada is influenced by factors such as age, professional experience, education, language proficiency, and marital status. Failure to meet specific minimum criteria can make obtaining residency virtually impossible. If your intention is a temporary move to Canada, you typically need to engage in eligible studies related to your professional background or secure sponsorship from an employer. However, this can be challenging as employers may not qualify to sponsor, and the process is often lengthy and costly, particularly without a high-demand skill set. Even if you meet the criteria for various immigration pathways, success is not guaranteed. Factors such as medical conditions, criminal backgrounds, ties to inadmissible family members, or application discrepancies can render you inadmissible, even with minor errors or omissions potentially leading to a declined application. Studying in Canada is very expensive. For numerous newcomers, pursuing education in Canada serves as a prerequisite for immigration. A prominent route to achieving permanent residency involves initially arriving on a study permit for temporary residency. However, this endeavor comes with a hefty price tag. As a temporary resident, you are obliged to pay international student fees for your studies, which can be remarkably expensive, up to 6 times higher than domestic student fees. Even if your immigration pathway doesn't necessitate studying, you might discover that upon moving to Canada, additional qualifications are imperative for practicing in your profession. Many Canadian professions mandate or prefer professional designations or a graduate degree, prompting individuals to return to school or undertake supplementary courses and exams. Unfortunately, the cumulative cost of these extra studies can be substantial. Wildlife and pests. It might be tempting to believe that Canada is devoid of creatures that can pose a threat, or at the very least be a nuisance. The variety of animals in Canada is indeed impressive, ranging from bears, moose, wolverines, cougars, to wolves found in the wilderness. Approaching these animals closely is highly perilous, but observing them from a safe distance in their natural habitat is a truly unique experience. However, if the thought of encountering a bear triggers intense fear, the Canadian wild might not be for you. In urban areas, encounters with creatures like raccoons, skunks, foxes, and even coyotes are possible. The less enchanting side of Canada's wildlife come in the form of pests. Canadian geese, often known as satanic hell beasts, are widely regarded as pure evil. They are notorious for hissing, attempting to bite people, and even invade entire university campuses. Moreover, they defecate on everything, making them a less than pleasant presence. Some might argue that these geese alone could be a compelling reason to reconsider moving to Canada. With Canada's distinct 4 seasons, a plethora of insect life thrives. Horseflies, black flies, mosquitoes, and more are a persistent annoyance, even for residents. It's one of the reasons why Canadians often smell like bug spray during the summer, especially after hiking. While the wildlife might dissuade some from considering Canada, many locals appreciate this aspect of the country. Car insurance is very expensive. Given Canada's vast expanse, unless you opt for downtown living, having a car becomes a likely necessity for navigating the country. However, the cost of owning a car in Canada can be surprisingly high, not due to vehicle prices, but primarily because of exorbitant car insurance rates. On average, car insurance premiums in Canada range from $1,300 to $1,800 per year. Yet, this figure varies significantly based on factors like your location, the type of car you own, and the number of years in your driving history. One notable challenge for newcomers is that Canadian insurers often do not consider foreign driving records. Consequently, you're treated as a new driver upon arriving in Canada, resulting in the highest possible insurance premiums. It's not uncommon for newcomers to face annual car insurance costs exceeding $4,000. These steep insurance rates may render owning a car financially impractical upon your initial arrival. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future uploads.